Johnny Murr here, and today, the next game we're going to be talking about from the Game Awards 2024 is, none other than Onimusha Way of the Sword. Holy crap. Like, look, I'm not even going to try and sugarcoat this thing, alright? I've never played an Onimusha game. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Is it Onimusha? Onimusha? I don't know. I'm just going to call it Onimusha. Onimusha, whatever. This trailer was off the chain. This trailer was completely unexpected. And oh my gosh, Capcom is literally my goats right now. They are just easily my favorite publisher, bro. Easily, like even more than Xbox. Now, I'm not gonna say they're my favorite company. I'm always gonna stay behind, like, Xbox is just my brand that I've been with since a little wee lad, you know. But in terms of publisher, oh my gosh, no one even compares to, like, for me when it comes to Capcom. I will say Sega's also goated, but like I personally enjoy Capcom's games more. I'm not saying they're better or worse. I just enjoy Capcom's games a lot more. But that's besides the point. The point being, Capcom is on a different run, bro. They are just different. They have banger after banger after banger, bringing back franchise after franchise after franchise. This isn't even the only announcement that happened at the Game Awards. They also announced Okami 2. What is going on here? If you guys love video games, consider subscribing and sharing with your friends. I really do appreciate all the support you guys give me, especially the support here on this video right now. We have so much content that we're going to be covering over the next few weeks, as well as we're getting to 2025, which looks to be like the best year of gaming. Oh my gosh, my words, I think it will be. But we're going to be talking about Onimusha because this game looked awesome. This is an iconic franchise from Capcom, where basically it is your action, I think, RPG, but it's basically just an action game where he plays this, like, samurai who can, like, suck in these, like, fire souls to his, like, gauntlet or whatnot, something like that. And that's how the trailer pretty much showed it off to be. It started with some amazing visuals, might I add. Really cool Japanese scenes. I really thought it was Sekiro 2 for a hot second. Like, I really did. Go watch the reaction on the channel. I really thought it was Sekiro 2, and I was also going to lose my mind for that as well. But honestly, I'd rather take this. Honestly, this thing looks amazing. But it starts off where you see these cool scenes, and then you start seeing these, like, red fire, like, things floating around, and you're like, what is this thing? And they're all moving towards something. And then once you see the guy, and you see the little light that he's holding, you start seeing all the fire things swirl around and go into this dude's gauntlet. And then you see his sword, and then you see him fight, you see gameplay, and then you see Onimusha. However you want to pronounce this dang game. I need to figure it out. Somebody in comments, please help me out. How do you properly pronounce this game? Onimusha or Onimusha? Let me know. Or is it something completely different? I need to know this, okay? And this game's gameplay looked off the chain. The visuals looked off the chain. The music that was playing, I really was digging. Like, everything about this just looked awesome. I know I'm a glazer right now, but I don't even care, bro. Capcom deserves it. Let me tell you. This game is easily going to be one of my most anticipated until it comes out. I feel like this is definitely going to be one of those games that just keeps on climbing higher and higher on my list. The more and more we see it, the more and more I think about it. It just looks awesome. It looks awesome. But let's get talking about some of the details that we have learned from interviews and just breakdowns from the trailer and stuff. So this is a brand new mainline game in the Onimusha franchise, the first in 20 years. 20 years we've been just not having Onimusha stuff. Like, the franchise was basically dead, and it's just boom, it's back. Like, it is back, baby. Holy moly. This place takes place in the historic Japanese capital of Edo era Kyoto. Okay, pretty interesting. Twisted by malevolent clouds of malice. Battle against monstrosities from the underworld known as Genma, and features a new samurai protagonist who wields the Onimusha Gauntlet. A mystical artifact that grants the bearer the power to slay Genma. The world is soaked in mystery, danger, and intrigue. Very interesting. So again, I know nothing about this franchise. I just am now fully aware of how dope it looks. Now, what's so funny about this and what's so interesting is earlier this year, me and Austin, you guys know him from the podcast and other videos, we were like making we were adding things to our backlog and just trying to like find some new games to play. And one of the we were doing it by like company. So we went from Sega, we went to EA, we went to Ubisoft, we went to a whole bunch of things. But when we were doing Capcom, we came across like Onimusha. We're like, what is this game? So we did a little bit of research and we went back and looked at some old gameplay and some old trailers, and we were like, wow, we've never even heard of it. Like we never knew what this, like we have heard of it. Like we've heard the name Onimusha because there is a lot of love for it. It's like a cult classic in a way. But we were like, I don't know what this game is, but I've heard of it and I know there's a lot of love for it. So we looked into it and we were like, this looks actually pretty cool. However, it looks very dated. Like this would just be an absolute pain to play in 2024. But could you imagine like what this game could be with like modern technology? Like I bet it'd be a pretty cool game. Like I bet you it'd be a pretty big hit. But we're never gonna see it. Like we'll never know. Like it don't really matter because it ain't gonna happen because we haven't heard about it in forever. It just seemed like a dead franchise. Little did we know, 6 months later, boom, Onimusha, Way of the Sword is here, and Onimusha is back. Wow. Just absolutely wow. We were answered. What would Onimusha with modern technology look like? Oh, it looks fire. Oh, it looks fire. It looks like straight gas. This game, I'm telling you, Capcom, I don't know what you guys be eating on a regular breakfast routine, but I need some of that. Like I need some of that stuff because you guys are just insane. You guys are absolutely insane. I know, bro. I sound like the world's biggest glazer. Honestly, I'm here for it, bro. This game looks awesome. Some of the combat we saw with like him blocking behind him, him throwing this giant like monster dude. He has like a big tail. He grabbed his tail and like threw him. He's fighting the monster. He's fighting a bunch of cool looking enemies. He's doing these cool things. His sword turns to like blue fire at a certain time as well. Man, I just can't wait to see what the story has in store. And I can't wait to see what kind of cool gameplay elements and features are in with it. Because again, I know nothing about Onimusha, so I don't know like if there's specific gameplay elements that you're hoping for. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to do it. Maybe I'll do research. Maybe I'll even put myself through playing some of the older games. Who knows? All I know is I'm so on board. I'm so excited, and I'm locked in. This is easily a top 10 most anticipated game for me now. Literally, like last night, I put all these games that were announced at the Game Awards on my topsters list. And I was like trying to order it, and I put it high, but it wasn't in my top 10. It was like maybe top 20 or top 15. I don't remember. But this morning I woke up. I watched the trailer again. And I was like, nah, bro, this game is hitting every note for me. Like, and I went back to my computer and I just took it and I raised it. I just raised it a little bit because I'm like, yep, this is that game. This is that game. I need it. I want it. It looks awesome. Let me know how you guys feel about Onimusha, Way of the Sword in the comments section. I'd love to hear about it. And that is not the only Capcom game that was announced. Okami sequel was also announced. I'm just going to go and talk about it in this video a little bit because I'm not going to make a full video on it. There's just not enough content or like information about the game that I could try and milk it or like flush it out enough, because honestly I know nothing about Okami. I just know what it is, and I know the main character mainly because of Marvel vs. Capcom. But yeah, Okami's getting a sequel. What an absolute stunner as well. Like another huge surprise. This Game Awards just generally had so many great surprises. So many new game announcements. And I think this is really cool because Okami is a beloved classic. And like I said, I've heard about it and I know a little bit. I just don't really know what it's about or how it plays or anything. But this is definitely gonna be a game I play now. Like I'm going to play the original. I actually have the original, like it's remaster or whatnot. So I'm definitely gonna check that out now. But I just love the presentation that they gave. This game, and also the way Jeff led up to it, he like was announcing it and he almost started crying, like you could tell he got choked up, and like this game means a lot to him, which I know this game means a lot for a lot of people. And he originally announced this game to be the final announcement of the entire show, and it ended up not being. But would have been, it's such an interesting game to even have that kind of setup for. Like, even though it ended up not being the final game, you kind of believed it in a way, and in a way it kind of made sense because it's historic, and it's such a classic for so many people that it just was interesting, but ended up not being the last thing. And I'm glad it wasn't, because I do feel like that would have been a weird last one to end it on. But even then, I'm really excited, just cause, number one, because it's Capcom and they are my goats. But number two, I've always found the look of the franchise interesting. And number three, I've just heard so many great things about it. So I'm really interested to dive into that. It is also bringing back the director. I don't know his name off the top of my head, so I apologize, but they announced it at the Game Awards as well, alongside that they are opening up a new studio, Clover Studios, who is going to be developing this game. So big W there from Capcom all around in this show. They're just continuing to prove why they're the GOATs. I'm going to be making a video at the beginning of next year talking about why Capcom is my GOAT. We're going to go over all their past few years and just where they're headed, all their IPs and stuff. We're going to be doing a full-on publisher breakdown video, kind of like how we did Ubisoft a few months back. That video aged poorly. But hopefully Capcom won't do the same. And after these two reveals, they have solidified themselves as my favorite publisher, hands down. Holy moly, what an absolutely awesome showing from Capcom. Let me know in the comments which one are you more excited for and what are your hype levels. I'd love to know. Also, let me know, please tell me, how do I properly pronounce Onimusha? Is it Onimusha or Onimusha? Did I just say the same thing? I don't know, bro. Somebody please help me, for the love of God. All right, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Jimer out. Peace.